Hello people, and welcome back to part 47 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for all the kind comments, suggestions and support on Sunday's live stream. We had a really nice time. We spent the evening doing some highway detailing. Decorating this little interchange over here, which is looking really nice now. Lots of transport lasagna beginning to develop. Nice layers of height all around here. It's nice how everything flows, all detailed. Oh, by the way, yeah, I need to mention this. We're playing with a LUT on. This is Relight Soft number 3, I believe. Just going to try out some different LUTs, some different shaders and whatnot, and just kind of give Palaven like a new lick of paint, right? Change things up a little bit every now and again. Yeah, carried on detailing the highway, lots of our kind of traditional fence and tree patterns all the way along here. Some nice rocks, and we also relocated the archway, so it kind of centralizes against the library this way. And it's not directly in front of the flight paths anymore, so hopefully a little more safe. I guess we'll see though. But yeah, welcome to Palaven everyone, welcome to Palaven. In today's episode, we are going to head over to this kind of numb space, right? This has been left neglected for a long time. And I think it'd be good today to kind of look how we can transition between kind of green, industrial, like we have with the forestry here, right? Everything's kind of very lush and green. There's some polluted vibes over here with some of the forestry stuff. And then some more polluted vibes over here with the nuclear stuff that we did last episode. So I guess today we can look at how we can transition between the two and kind of give it its own little theme as well. So let's get started, shall we? Okay guys, so I've just come ahead off camera and brought through a really basic kind of tram turnaround point here over by the suburban kind of tram town centre that we worked on in like episode 3. I really like this build, super nice. It's a nice part of town, this one. Yeah, so we just got trams flowing through here now. They do interconnect into this tram line just so they can reach this part of town. There's no actual trams flowing over here. And then it's just a little kind of tram interchange point, right? It comes underground, comes into the roundabout here, where we do have some stops in the roundabout itself, which I think I'm quite keen on that aesthetic. I think it's quite nice. And there's some people using it to get into the nuclear power plant as well, which is always nice to see. And then just drawing in a really basic kind of box tram system here, using some roads. And that's not because I didn't forget to hit the record button. It's fine, it's early in the week guys, give me a break. Okay, so I think we'll kind of discuss some initial spice templates for this little kind of tram park here. We're also going to be playing with a couple of European assets today as well, I think. Because we're after that very, almost like an old industrial building that's now being converted into like modern residential is kind of the vibe we're going for today. Okay. So just some initial amusement park path design here. And maybe we can start introducing some kind of bordering fencing. Just to kind of box in these little tram gardens. I guess that's what we can call it, right? We have rock gardens, why not have some tram gardens as well? Maybe a potential future spice of the month for those in the Discord. Okay. So we can mess about with the tramline nodes here to get the tram stops to centralise kind of bang in the middle, but I think I'm quite happy with this like off-centre design here. I think we're going to run with it. Okay, let's bring our fencing down as close as we can grab it to that tram border. Of course, saving an opening for the pathways to actually kind of come through and allow people to walk back and forth. Okay, it's not too bad for right now. So we have painted out a district here. If you want to name this part of town, please feel free to throw it in the comments of this episode and we will do it on the live stream. We've set this to European, which means we can now start playing with some high density European assets. And it's been a while since I've even played with these things, to be honest. I think the last time I used them was maybe on console. So we're just going to draw in some really basic high density residential patterns and see what kind of assets we get coming in. Because, you know, that vibe that we're after here today, so many people using this to get to the nuclear plant, by the way. That's really exciting to see. Very good. So, you know, I kind of want like old, dilapidated buildings that have been converted into what you would consider somewhat kind of luxury residential now. Quite a hipster place to live if you like. I'm definitely taking inspiration out of East London for this. But we'll just kind of see what assets we get coming in. This is definitely a favourite. This little grey and white one right here. What is this? Is the 2x4? Yeah, a lot of these are quite janky. I do like this little archway though through the middle. I think that one's quite cute. But okay, let's run with that. Let's maybe go with a repeated pattern of 2x4s. And we'll see what kind of aesthetic that begins to generate in this part of town. And meanwhile, while that is going on, we can continue to flesh out with our fence designs on the inside of the road now. We can bring them up a little something like this. I guess it would make sense to also have these pathways coming through on this side of things as well. Kind of draw them up like that. I guess we should do it here as well, right? It'd be weird if we didn't. There we go. Let's come to the angle snap of our fence. No grid. And then we can just bring these right up in line. Angle's a little off there, that's fine now. Okay. So let's see. Oh, there's some kind of more red brick assets coming in here. These ones are nice as well. Decisions. Decisions indeed. What's this one going to appear as? Yeah, I think the red brick is a little more industrial looking, isn't it? However, this kind of like white and grey is very much up my street. This is basically what my apartment looks like now. Just like white and grey everywhere. Very minimalistic. But I think kind of as a converted industrial vibe, that's very much what I'm after. So let's get a whole row of these in. We are working with 2x4 industrials for these. Now let's make sure that we get in the right assets that we want. Okay, so there we go. It's actually all of a sudden become very Kensington for anyone that's ever been to London. This has like Kensington written all over it. Kind of very... But I think, you know, from the top down view as well, it kind of looks like an old factory, especially if we double these back onto each other and repeat the pattern twice. There's some very kind of desirable high density residential flats is what we're going for here today. Okay, so delete this, don't need that anymore, and we'll get these on this side again now as well. So again, we're just doing 2x4 and repeating the pattern. So we can then come in and fill the ones in the middle. Okay, thankfully there's not too many assets within that 2x4 pool, so these are actually quite easy to get in. But that's not too bad, I don't think. I think I'm quite happy with that. I wonder, do we want to continue the pattern down into these spaces as well, so this kind of main road is flanked by this pattern, but it's definitely starting to develop now, isn't it? I think I'm happy with this. It's on its way. Okay, however, I do want some more stuff in this part of town. We've also got a bunch of stuff here to kind of delete. So we've got a waste disposal unit and 4 water treatment plants and a tank reservoir to relocate today. And I think we'll put some of the sewage stuff maybe over here in kind of the little forest boundary of the nuclear plant. I'm just kind of temporarily relocate it over there. Okay. Let's take it away anyway, because it's causing huge amounts of pollution. We'll take these away too. And then take out this road network and kind of let this bit of earth regrow into something a little greener. Quite toxic at the minute. Okay. So we'll go to a tram road. And we'll come out by road length and angle here. And we'll continue out by another 20 tiles. Or maybe another 10 just for good luck. Okay. Again, we're going to see that kind of nice key arterial spice developing as well, which I think is always important. I'm guessing that's going to absolutely murder Palaven's sewage treatment, right? Having removed those buildings. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll relocate these. We'll be right back. So just throwing in an advanced eco inland water treatment plant into the power station, and actually works really nicely. Quite a nice little industrial vibe. We'll definitely expand that part and probably join the stream whenever we need to. Okay, let's carry on working on our little European district here, right? Little European vibes. So I think we'll definitely throw in a unique building into this build today. Maybe the meteorite park would be a good little option. And again, just to help fracture our little tram road here, maybe come out by 10 on each side with some tram roads. Oh, and it centralizes, yes please. That is what we want. That is what we want. Nice. Nice, okay, but I don't want it centralized right up against the arterial. We'll probably bring it onto a separate road. Let's go ahead and bring out distance of 5 tiles from each point here. Okay. And I guess it'd be nice to have the trams kind of stop out front, right? We run with our meteorite park here. The trees will of course come back to life over time as this pollution fades away. I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's too bad. However, just to be a little more elaborate, I think maybe we'll bring the tram roads behind the meteorite park. I guess we can't deny the opportunity to come out by one more block, can we? Maybe do it like this. And then this way we can surround it with some nicer park life paths. Just as kind of another accentuating border. And then maybe 2 up in the middle here as well. And then maybe we can come in with a little zoo cafe out front of the meteorite park here, okay? And then let's upgrade maybe the road in front of the meteorite park into something a little fancier. And I guess it would make sense to actually have these as a one-way loop, right? We'll keep the traffic flowing in the same direction as well. And then the trams can feed back down into their loop. Let's bring the trams in now. So we'll come out from this one, maybe have a stop along this road. And then one more straight behind. And then we can mirror the stops as it heads back down the arterial. And drops people off. I think purple definitely isn't the colour for this area. Maybe, how about like a brown? Almost like, so it's kind of like an old tram. Is that going to look awful? I guess it's kind of like a burgundy, isn't it? Some slight burgundy vibes, maybe. Let's kind of see how it looks. Okay. I don't mind that. That's going to be quite nice. And then we'll definitely surround kind of this part of town with some nightlife stuff as well as we get down to this side of things. So I think in terms of continuing this residential pattern, we'll almost treat it as though these were like individual factories or warehouses with that converted, right? So they kind of appear in these blocks. I think that's what we'll do, and we'll hope that the idea works out. Because if it doesn't, then today's episode is a little bit of a waste of time, but I guess we'll decide, right? Okay, I think that's fine. Very harsh cutaway, but it's going to be hidden by the buildings anyway, so I think we'll be okay. And again, what we'll do here, we're just going to continue to generate that 2x4 pattern, just by drawing them in. And then we'll see kind of what we get coming in here. And then we maybe switch the angle or the shape of the building here. I hope that I'm getting the point across, right? Each of these kind of blocks of residential was like an old warehouse or an old like wire factory or something like that. And they're now kind of nicely converted luxury accommodation is the vibe we're going for. I think. Who are you? Why have you generated like this? Oh, it's got it's on the corner, isn't it? Okay. Okay, we'll just kind of keep our eye out for any assets that we might want to switch out here. I think it will definitely change up from this white and grey one. It will look a little too repeated if it's this all the way along. Maybe let's go for like a red brick pattern right here. Maybe one of these. We are getting some corner assets in as well though. We can fight this just by breaking the road and then allowing the zoning to generate like this. And once it's in as a 2x4, we can then draw the road in. You won't get the corner assets that way. Same here again as well. Okay, I'm going to find a little pattern to sit in here, see which assets we like, and then we'll kind of see how we look with another block of high density repeated spice out along this arterial. So I think now, as we look to switch up that kind of shape and design, we're going to rub in some red brick as we move a little closer down the arterial. I've just fed these into a little And a loop that doesn't join up at the back here. Just some 2x2s. Okay, I think it's nice, you know, the trams are still blending in as we want to. Need to take these traffic lights away here. Around the base of the highway. Got some nice walking paths here too, so people can kind of like walk under the overpass. I think that'd be quite nice. How are we doing for noise pollution? Yeah, the high density will withstand that. Might struggle with low density, but high density is going to be good. Okay, and then let's maybe switch up the pattern here for something kind of a little bigger. Maybe let's try and get some 4x4s in here. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. We get a nice contrast now, some nice brick coming in, little pops of red. Some slightly more modern kind of builds in this space here. People picking up the paths now as well. Very good, very good. Let's give this area a nightlife specialisation. Come into leisure. And we'll start to have some kind of slightly fancier, more kind of towny vibes around here, right? So we're going to kind of continue in our theme of road against road action. I'm going to come in here, leaving, I think we'll go for 2 tiles between kind of this middle centre. Let's give that a nice border, and then we'll hook it into these points as well. Okay. Then I guess it would make sense to mirror pattern here too, right? And then what this should allow us to do is to come through some kind of fancier kind of path borders to help highlight our arterial here. I guess we'll kind of see, right? We'll kind of see how this vibe develops. Maybe let's take it a little ways off here. We'll come into our grid. Snap into the pedestrian crossing so people can actually make use of the path. And then let's maybe draw it up alongside the outside of the arterial. So we'll come from this side here as well, right? There we go. Okay. I think maybe without decorations for where the paths actually join in. Just so you know, there isn't too much tree spice around here. Maybe a farm fence within the grid. We'll try out a couple of different samples and palettes here today. I think farm fence might be a little too rural looking for the vibe we're going here today, so we'll try park fence as well. You know, I think just doing something like this, as opposed to just placing the high density up against the arterial, will just give kind of the build that little bit more importance. And we can see this is the spice sample, right? This is what we're after. And I may even come back and switch these out for red brick. I'm kind of really enjoying this vibe here. This is what we want. Nice sort of view down the back here as well. Okay, but either way, I think we'll run with park fence. I don't think that the farm is quite the right vibe that we're after. Let's bring it down here as well. Okay, then I guess it can stop there, and then we can just draw in some of our old faithful kind of box fence patterns here to fill out with some trees during the daytime time lapse. So I think we'll run with some of the European assets themselves. Let's maybe throw down an elementary school here. And can we partner it with maybe one of the little playground assets? Maybe. How does the bouncy castle work here? Maybe not the bouncy castle actually. Large playground's a little too small. Go for a small one maybe. Okay, just a little accompanying asset. Maybe a little batch of commercial here as well. Just to help fill out that side of the road. It's going to work nicely as well. Yeah, I really liking this now. He says sounding surprised, like half an hour into his own build, but it's coming together. I think it is. Let's now start to introduce some of these nightlife and leisure vibes to surround this initial town centre here. We'll just kind of get a big block in for right now, and then kind of see what develops off the back of that. Again, there's also more chance to use kind of the spice template that we're running with today, which is kind of paths and trams, right? So we can even repeat the path border around this side if we like. Might be a little too much, but a lot of repeated pattern around a centralised unique building I think would be nice. I'm happy for some height to develop within these leisure specialisation assets too. It's going to look nice up against the railway here with the train coming behind now. Very nice. And I think we'll also start introducing some nice open parkland to help the company and level up our residentials here. Bring some little basic pathway designs down and around. We'll be able to go that way. Oh, that's fine, it hooks in that side anyway though, that's okay. Okay, and maybe the European fire station as well. Let's see if I can maybe squeeze this guy in. How's he going to fit up along here? A little Italian flag on the side there. Shout out to the Italian subscribers. Okay, doesn't work down this end of town, does it? We can't have it here. Maybe over down here actually. Maybe let's grab ourselves a little industrial road. We do need to hook power through into this toll booth as well. So are we going to sink power through here? No, but we can temporarily. Let's just start charging people to come through now. Just boost those prices up. Okay, and I think we will also definitely continue this kind of grey and white housing pattern down this side as well. Let's maybe come out by another 10 each side here. Okay. Cool. Let's take away this power now and we'll get people hooked in. Just come through with our 2x4 pattern again. Okay, so far I think we've filled out this area nicely. These little houses are going to extend down this side now. We've got a nice little colour variation coming in here as well. Different ones popping in. Okay. And again, I think we can do some more nice open parkland and traditional park space and attractions where we have these dead spaces. We're just starting to see a little more activity generated ahead of this arterial now as well, with this nightlife stuff coming in. And lots again of opportunities to come behind with detailing like we have around the rest of this trumpet interchange here and flesh out with trees and rocks and whatnot. It would be nice to see if we could actually bring a path over the railway that hooks into our nuclear power plant build here. We'll see if we get anyone just kind of walking over this bridge, right? Let's bring it across now and work out our levels, make sure that we're at acceptable heights for everyone involved. And then we can actually hook down into that corner. So we'll just have a little bit of... It's not quite the straightest thing, but we will straighten it out if people do pick it up, otherwise there's no point in really having it here. But a little option for people to cross back into between the different areas. It's all about the walkability, right? I think that's what everyone's here for. Okay. I'm happy with that. Everything's centralised around this little meteorite park now. We've got some nice kind of calm European vibes as we head down the main street. Quite a different build today, very different to anything we've done before. Okay guys, but that does feel like a good place to jump into a detailed time lapse. We've got lots of overgrowth to help merge into the rest of the highway infrastructure over here, and also to help blend in the riverbed with the new infrastructure as well. Detail our little tram roundabout here. We've got some people detail it with pathways coming out of these things, and lots of tree patterns to introduce around these little park areas as well, and some fence to bring through. And then just some final little bits and pieces like these little squares that need to be filled out with some nice little designs. So as always, I'll speak to you guys in a minute. Okay guys, that is going to do it today. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Quite happy with this build, certainly something very different and not as large as some of the previous builds over the last 10 episodes or so. And it's nice to finally see some European assets over here in Palaven. A little teaser of what's to come maybe as we head towards the European side of the map over towards the coast. I hope I've got this vibe across today. It could probably be refined a little more, but with the space that we had to work with and the time that we had today, I think that this is kind of a nice little way to transition between two industrial areas, one clean and one dirty, coming from the vibe of almost old converted industrial buildings that are now kind of desirable residential. I hope that it's come across. If it hasn't, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. I have forgotten to historical one of the buildings, which is currently levelling up, but oh well, that's fine. But yeah, hang around for the rest of Autotage and check out the rest of this place. It should look pretty sweet at night time as well, surrounded by all this kind of grand industrial light. But otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.